I would like to call the March 31st, 2022 City Council special meeting to order. Would everyone please stand and join me in this Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Nelson.
Present.
Carey.
Present.
Chilson.
Present.
Parker.
In my sign seat, present.
Hutchings.
Present.
Ruffridge.
Present.
And Student Representative Knowles.
She will not be in attendance for this meeting.
You have a quorum.
Next item on the agenda is the approval of agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented for today's meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chilson. May I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Hutchings. Are there any council objections to approving the agenda? Seeing none, the agenda is approved. Next, we'll move on to public comments. Public comments are limited to the topics under agenda item 6, pending legislation. Members of the public will have 3 minutes to comment. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to comment? For those participating through Zoom, please raise your hand if you would like to comment. App users by pressing the raise your hand button, and phone participants by dialing *9 on your telephone. I see no one here in the chambers, and do we have anyone on Zoom?
There are no hands raised.
Thank you. The next item is council comments, and council comments are limited to the topics under agenda item 6, pending legislation. Council comments, Mr. Ruffridge, do you have any? Mr. Carey?
No.
Vice Mayor Parker?
No, sir.
Mr. Chilson?
No comments.
Mr. Nelson?
No, sir.
Ms. Hutchings, thank you. We'll move on to item number 5 on the agenda, which is the executive session, city clerk recruitment process, AS 44.62.310C2. Subjects, the discussion of the city clerk recruitment is a subject that may tend to prejudice the reputation and character of an applicant for city employment, therefore may be discussed in executive session. May I have a motion to enter an executive session? Vice Mayor Parker.
Thank you, Mayor Whitney. I move to enter into an executive session to discuss a personnel matter in accordance with Alaska Statute 44.62.310C2. This is a matter that could prejudice the reputation or character of an applicant for city employment, therefore may be held in executive session. The applicant to be discussed has elected to have the discussion take place in executive session. The executive session will include the mayor, city council members, Human Resources Manager O'Regan, and City Attorney Brooks Chandler.
May I have a second? Ms. Hutchings, thank you. Are there any objections to convening into executive session? Seeing none, for those attending through Zoom, the Zoom meeting will not be resumed after the executive session. After the executive session is over, the meeting will briefly resume at soldotna.org/streaming. So we will go into executive session at this time.
So moved.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Parker. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ruffridge. Are there any objections to convening back into regular session? Seeing none, we are back in regular session. Item 6 on the agenda is pending legislation, Ordinance 2022-007, amending Soldotna Municipal Code 2.04.050, compensation for city council, and 2.05.030, compensation for the mayor, to adjust monthly salary amounts. Public hearing on April the 13th. Ordinance 2022-008, amending Soldotna Municipal Code 2.50.030, Parks and Recreation Advisory Board to increase membership and meeting frequency. Public hearing on April the 13th. Ordinance 2022-009, increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $128,000 in the Equipment Replacement Fund for the purchase of 2 replacement police patrol vehicles. Public hearing on April the 13th. Ordinance 2022-010, increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $1,750 in the general fund for a donation received from the Soldotna Library Friends. Public hearing on April 13th, 2022. Ordinance 2022-0011, accepting grant funds from the State of Alaska Department of Education and Early Development and increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $1,250 in the general fund to attend the Public Library Association Conference. Excuse me, public hearing on April 13th, 2022. Moving on to the next agenda item, number 7, meeting announcements. April 6th, 2022, Planning and Zoning Commission meeting at 5:30 p.m. and April 13th, 2022, City Council meeting at 6 p.m. And having no further business in front of us, we are adjourned.